Hello and welcome. Listen, if you are 70, or perhaps you have a parent or family member who is, and there is any air travel in your future, you are going to want to stay tuned. This is a truly vital one. There is a whole wave of new airport security regulations rolling out, and honestly, they are causing some major unexpected issues for senior travelers right at the boarding gate. So today, we are just going to break it all down piece by piece. Our goal is to give you a simple, stress-free guide so you can fly with total confidence. Let's jump in. So here's how we are going to approach this. We have 5 sections. First, we will talk about these new hurdles at the gate and, why they are even a thing now. Then we are going to dive into the single biggest change you need to know about, the Real ID deadline. After that, we will get into the specifics of navigating the airport with medical equipment or if you need a little mobility help. Section 4 is all about the new digital airport. What is up with all the mobile boarding passes? And finally, and this is the important part, we are going to pull it all together into a simple action plan for you. All right, so you might be wondering why all of a sudden, what is going on? Well, over the last couple of years, the Department of Homeland Security and the TSA have been in the middle of this massive modernization project at basically every major airport. They put in new screening equipment, they have digitized a lot of the identity systems, and they have tightened up all the security rules. And look, the goal is to make things safer for everybody, but one of the unintended side effects is that seniors, especially if it has been a little while since you have flown, are running into these new roadblocks that can honestly just stop a trip dead in its tracks. And believe me, this is not just a what-if scenario. This is really happening. Let me just tell you a quick story that happens all the time. Imagine a 72-year-old woman so excited to fly and see her brand new grandchild for the first time. She gets to the airport plenty early, has her driver's license, the same one she has used for years. It does not even expire for another 2 years. But the TSA agent looks at it, shakes her head, and tells her she cannot get on the plane. And she is just confused, upset, and she ends up missing the entire trip. The agent's explanation: no star, no flight. The stakes here are real. Now that story gets to a really critical point. This is not personal. These new rules were not designed to make things difficult for older travelers. It is all because of that huge system-wide security upgrade we were just talking about. The new system is kind of built with this assumption that everybody has a smartphone in their pocket and a government ID that was issued in the last year or two. But, that is just not reality for millions of us, and seniors are often the ones getting caught in this gap. So our mission today is to give you the info you need to just sail right through this new system. So that brings us right to the big one, the single biggest issue that is going to affect every single person flying in the US, but it especially hits seniors who might have had their license for a good long while. I am talking about the Real ID requirement. You have probably heard about it, right? Maybe you saw a sign at the DMV and thought, I will get to that later. Well, later is officially here. So what is a Real ID anyway? It is pretty simple. It is just a federal security standard that every state-issued ID, like your driver's license, has to meet now if you want to use it for federal stuff like getting on a plane. Now, the easiest way to know if you are good to go is to just look at your license. If you have got it handy, go ahead and pull it out right now. Look in the upper corner, usually the top right. Do you see a little star? It might be gold or black. If you see that star, you are golden. You are all set. But if you do not see a star, we have got to talk. You need to take action, okay? Write this date down, circle it, put it on your calendar, May 7th, 2025. After that date, the TSA will officially stop accepting those older driver's licenses that do not have the star. You will not be able to get through security with one. Now, here is the thing that catches so many people off guard. This is true even if your license has not expired yet. I am going to say that again. You could have a license that is perfectly valid for driving until 2028, but if it does not have that star, it is not going to work for a flight after May 7th, 2025. All the grace periods are over, and the TSA agents at the airport have zero wiggle room on this. They cannot make an exception. All right? So, what do you do if you look at your license and there is no star? Do not panic. You have got 3 really simple options. Number 1, and this is what most people do, is you go to your local DMV and you get a Real ID. Now, you will need to bring some specific documents, usually something like a birth certificate to prove your identity, your social security card, and a couple proofs of where you live, like utility bills. And my advice, do not wait on this. The DMVs can get backed up for weeks. Option 2, you can just use a valid US passport or a passport card. If you have one, that is perfect. Go check the expiration date on it right now. A passport is the gold standard. And third, if you are a veteran or active military, your military ID card is already Real ID compliant. You are good to go. Okay, great. We have got the whole ID thing sorted out. Now, let us move on to the second big area where things have changed. Traveling with medications, medical devices, and getting help with mobility, like a wheelchair. Because of all the new security protocols, the way you might have done things in the past might not fly anymore. No pun intended. And showing up unprepared here can really cause some major headaches and delays at the security line. With these new rules, TSA agents are just being a lot more careful. So if you are traveling with any kind of prescription medicine, you absolutely have to keep it in the original pharmacy bottle with the label on it. That label with your name on it is basically your hall pass. For things like insulin syringes, it is a really good idea to have a note from your doctor on their letterhead just explaining why you need them. And for any kind of device, a CPAP machine, a nebulizer, anything like that, just tuck a copy of the prescription or a doctor's note in the bag with it. It is not about them trying to stop you. It is just about having the paperwork to prove to security that these things are medically necessary. Now, this number on your screen, this is your secret weapon for real. This is the TSA Cares helpline. It is a completely free service that is designed specifically to help travelers who have disabilities or medical conditions. Here is the magic. If you call them at least 72 hours before you fly, they will actually coordinate with the TSA agents at your airport to make sure you have a much smoother, easier screening process. They can even have someone there to meet you and help guide you through. It is an amazing service that not enough people know about. This is another big change. It used to be that you could pretty much just show up at the airport and ask for a wheelchair if you needed one. Well, those days are pretty much over. A lot of airports have hired outside companies to handle these services, and they just do not have a lot of extra staff hanging around. So, to guarantee that you will get assistance, you have to request it when you book your ticket or at the absolute latest 48 hours before your flight. If you just show up and ask, you could be waiting for an hour, maybe more. And that is an easy way to miss your flight. So the bottom line is you have got to plan ahead and book it in advance. Let us move on to the new digital airport. You have probably noticed that airlines are pushing, and I mean really pushing, for everyone to use a mobile boarding pass on their smartphone. And for a lot of people, that is great. It is convenient. But if you do not have a smartphone or you just feel more comfortable with a good old-fashioned paper copy, this whole digital push can feel a little intimidating. But I have got good news. You absolutely still have options. Yeah, the whole process of getting a boarding pass has definitely changed. The old way was simple, right? You walked up to the counter and an agent printed your pass for you. Now there are a few different ways this can go. The airline's #1 choice is for you to use their mobile app. Their next choice is for you to check in at home on your computer and print it out yourself. If you cannot do that, you can use one of the self-service kiosks at the airport, and that is still free. The very last resort is going to the ticket counter, and you need to be aware of this. Some airlines are now charging a fee anywhere from $5 to $25 just to have an agent print your pass. So the main takeaway here is you do not need a smartphone to fly, but you do need to have a plan for how you are going to get that boarding pass. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground here, right? We talked about IDs, medical rules, digital boarding passes, a lot of stuff. So now let us pull all of this great advice together into one simple practical checklist. Think of this as your pre-flight action plan. Your ticket to making sure your next trip is smooth, easy, and totally stress-free. Here we go, your 7-point plan for a perfect trip. #1, as soon as we are done here, check your ID for that star. #2, gather up all your medical paperwork and put it in your carry-on so it is with you. 3, if you think you will need a wheelchair, book that assistance when you book your ticket. 4, I want you to seriously consider getting TSA PreCheck. It is about $78 for 5 years. It means shorter lines and you do not have to take off your shoes, your belt, or take your laptop out of the bag. Trust me, it is a lifesaver for reducing stress. 5, Decide before you leave for the airport exactly how you are getting your boarding pass. 6. Before you pack, look up your airline's carry-on size rules and measure your bag. You do not want any expensive surprises at the gate. And number 7, just arrive early. Our recommendation is 2 and 1-2 hours for a domestic flight, 3 and 1-2 for international. That extra time is the best gift you can give yourself. It is a buffer against stress. Look, it is true. The rules have changed. The airport has gotten a little more complicated. But knowledge is power, right? By understanding what is new and just doing a little prep work before you go, you are the one in complete control. These are not really roadblocks. They are just new steps in the dance. You have earned the right to go visit your family, to take that vacation you have been dreaming of, and to see the world without any of this hassle. So, with this plan in your back pocket, the only real question left is where are you going to go next?